guys, how you doing? I am going to do another Lego set because I am super excited about this one. I am a big D&D person, and the marriage between Lego and D&D is just like, wow. So I'm probably going to gush a lot during this one, probably more than I did on the pirate ships, so you've been warned. Anyway, there's the front of the box, and then you have the top of your box there. Maybe I can get that without a glare in there, but maybe not. So there you go, of the basically creatures. There's a ton of little figures in here too. They did it. It's just so nice. Nothing too terribly exciting there, just the dimensions of the set. And there you go. If you want that information, pause and read the dimensions. And then there's your back with your little taverns and what have you. And your side view there. And then there's nothing on the bottom. And then I believe there's 32 bags, which I'm not gonna lay out for you, plus this guy and a bag of plates. So, and then very few decals, which I was kind of happy about. I think there's like maybe 10 of those decals. So that's pretty good. So that means either printed or they're not really necessary. I'm also going to do a little bit differently. I'm going to build each section because it is very modular. It's got little sections as you build along. So when I'm done with a section, I'll just do a little review. That should cut down on the time of this, and you can skip to what you're interested in. All right, take care, and I'll see you in a bit, or you'll hear me in a bit. Okay, first off, we have the books. There's 4 of them, obviously, and your sticker decals. And as I said, there's not very many. Did I even get it right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Oh, it's off by 1. Bummer. Okay. The only difference between the 4 books is the first one obviously has your little details about the sets and whatever, you know, the artists and everything that they've done with it. I'm not going to flip through all of them, but there's roughly about 15 pages of that. So those are your books. They come in the standard envelope. And then there was also a bag of, there's a bag that had, I don't know what I did with it. There was a bag of, for the cinder howl's wings and a little cloak in there. Okay, so we'll get on to the building. Okay, so we have book 1 done. Now, again, I'm gonna give you a little warning. There might be a spoiler or 2 in this. I'll try not to, but you're watching this at your own risk. So we'll start out with the characters first. So you got your dwarven cleric, and that's his face on that side, and the printing on his body. And there's the back, the other face. In addition, this is the female version of the head. And there's that. And then you obviously have your 2 hair pieces, which I left off because I had to show you the faces. Then you have the female sorceress right here. And there's the back of her. And then the male version of the head is right there. Yep, get in focus. There we go. And then you also have some books here. I'm trying to get it, but you can see these parts, they're a little on the reflective side. So there's like a little metallic sheen to them, which are kind of cool. I don't know what spells are. I can't see them, but they're there anyway. And then this is her headpiece. Going on to the fighter, we have the female fighter also. That's at least the way the instructions did it. And there's the back. Let me see if I can flip this around a little bit better. So, and then there's the expression on her other side. And then there's the male version of the head. And there's the other side of that. You get a couple extra swords. And then this is his. There's only 1 hair piece for both of them. So there's no female male hairpiece like there is on the cleric, like there. And then you have your thief, orc, and this one I think that's the male one, and that might be the female one. I'm not entirely sure. There is no face printing on the back of these. Very hard to tell, but I think that's the female one. I'm not sure though. You get a couple extra daggers with that. And finally you have the innkeeper. And this is where a potential spoiler might be. His face turns evil. So that might have something to do with the adventure, I'm assuming. Plus the items in his belt on the back there, kind of interesting. Has me wondering. And then there's the female version of that head too. Again, with the eyes that kind of glow and look like something's up. And then, but again, only one hair piece for them. So those are the figures. Now I'm just gonna brusquely aside. So here you have the in, and I'll give it a quick spin. It was a nice little build. I will say that in the instructions, from page to page, these flip from this kind of blue to this purple. They are purple, but their printer, I've noticed on the last couple sets I've built, they're just a little lax, I would have to say. Later on, I will talk about some mods that I made to this, but there you go. It comes apart pretty well, easily. So you got your roof, and then you can get in there. And then you have your mimic bed with some nice teeth in there. Nothing really fits in there unless you put it on the sides a little bit. And then you have a true mimic right there with some loot in there. And your chimney, and you got a little fire in there going on. And you got a bag of loot there also. And something in the background there. But this part does not come off really. So, and then lifting the first floor off. Did I flip it all the way around so you can see the whole thing? I don't think I did. So there you go. And then the chimney's kind of nice. Oh, and you have some treasure loot in there also. I won't show you what that is yet though. And then you can pull this puppy off, and then you got a nice access to the lower floor. You've got your weapon rack in there with some beverages, ukulele, not a ukulele, I forget what they call the old, medieval guitar. Sorry about that, I'm being silly. Looks like you got your ketchup bottle, but it really isn't. And some food, a nice fireplace going on in there too. And then a chest, and then your keg right back there. So all in all, it's a fun little build, but this was all pretty much book one. Just one little side note that I did as a change. I used some extra pieces. Lego will put a 1x2 in there to stabilize that a little bit. I just used an extra of the 1x1s, how you get those little extra pieces just to stabilize it. Because every time I tried pressing it in, it collapsed. So that might help. And then two, I adjusted this a little bit. These are both and the instructions are on the inside with that on top of it. But I actually didn't like the gap, so that's just me being me. And it also seems to click in easier and come out easier. So you now have that there and that there. And it just, to me, just made more sense. That's it. Just wanted to show you that. You can choose to do it or not, but it did make putting these guys in and they wouldn't collapse as you're putting them in. Okay, book two is The Meadow. I'll give this, we'll start with the figure like I did before. So there's your Dragonborn, kind of cute for something that can breathe fire and other bits to you. And I think his name is Alex Jade Scales, I believe. So I think he's more of an NPC character as far as the set goes. And then here's your Meadow. You got a nice little treant in here. However, he does come out relatively easily, but he doesn't really stand on his own. Oh, maybe if I spin this around a little bit. I guess you can kind of get him to a point where he might stand up, but I don't know if he's supposed to even. But oh, there we go. So you have a little treant there. And then I'm going to look at things apart. So you've got your spiders there. You've got some hidden loot there. You have another hidden section here, which kind of you'll see from the backside, but I'll pop it off. So you have access to that too, with some items in there too. And then putting that back, I'll leave it off for now. Then you have some foliage here. The tree doesn't really do anything. You do have a spider hidden up there. You've got some more plant life. You have the myconoids in there, which I was kind of surprised to see. I'm actually very kind of humored by them. I'm glad they threw those in there. I'll be interested to see how they tie the adventure into that. And then coming over this way a little bit, you also have another pull-away door, and then a secret door that goes into the inside there. Nothing on the inside of that though. spinning around. I guess I don't know what these tentacles are for yet, but coming around. So you have your, I don't know, I think it's like an outhouse. It's either a prison or an outhouse. I'm not sure. I'm guessing prison. Alex was in there, so maybe that's part of the adventure. You have a shield hinting at your beholder on the upper floor. There's those myconids again. Some flaming something there for that. Plant life that can move apart a little bit. I'm sure, you know, so to get into the tower, that will come later. On the lower floor, there's your tiles. There's that secret door I was talking about. And then that wall, that would have been there before. You got it looks like a mace here. So maybe that's some treasure. They threw out all throughout the set little bits of treasure. So I'm assuming they're treasure for your characters as you move along. And then there's your gelatinous cube with an unfortunate victim in there. And some more loot, if you can see it. Then you've got a littler one there too. And then a treasure with a nice it looks like a magic staff in there. And some loot down there. And then up top, it's just a basic, castle top there. You got a little bit of a stairway. So that's basically book 2. And they don't, as I said, there's only a couple stickers per thing, which I'm very happy about. Actually, before I move on to book 3, I just want to make a couple clarifications. I believe I called everything foliage. It's foliage. Sorry about that. Moving around to here, I believe I called that a mace. It's actually closer to looking like a morning star. So I'm just going to go with the morning star at this point. Anyway, and then the point of this is I kind of forgot our little owl bear friend there. So he's kind of, could be potentially ferocious, but he's kind of cute too. And then he's relatively articulated. The back legs will only move in and out, like so. And there's your tail. And the head will tilt side to, I can get it, I think. Will tilt side to side, but not up or down. And your front legs are a little more articulated. So you can move them out and you can also turn them a little bit. Not a whole lot, but some. And overall, he's pretty cool. He's got a little heft to him. So it's kind of a nice little figure. There's his belly. And then there's his back. So there you go, your little owl bear. Okay, so here we have the results of book 3. I cannot fit it all in the same frame, so because of its height, but we'll start off with the characters. So you have 3 skeletons, Mo, Curly, and Larry maybe, and with just various weaponry and items in their hands, and then a kind of a cool looking cloak on this guy. I'm guessing it's an invisibility cloak, of course, of some sort, but it's got a nice shiny back to it. Got kind of royal purple on the inside. It's kind of cool. And then you have these 4 items here that change one of the characters, part of the story. I didn't want to show which character that is because I didn't want to ruin anything. And then there's your tower, and I'll just kind of pan up a little bit with it, and then I'll start from the top and work my way down. So there you go. Give it a quick spin. So for the top part, you have your giant egg surrounded by some green flames. You have, looks like a study with some books or some spell books in there, some jewels, what have you. A stairway going up to that door, going in there. And then below it, you have another part of the room where, you know, the second floor where you have some kind of, I don't know what's going to be with that, but some fantastical D&D-esque kind of throne or item. Don't know what it is. I have not at this point read the module. So some of this might be obvious to you. If it is, I apologize. To me, it is not. There is one nice little thing though I thought was kind of fun. You got your trap door. So that's pretty cool. And it's pretty well hidden. I mean, it's kind of a neat little feature. I like the way that works with the key. And let's see if I can get that back up in there. There we go. So that's the top floor. Let me pop that off real quick. And you got a nice tree too. And then your lower floor, I guess working our way down, there's your stairway. You got a vial of something there, more vials there. You have some oozes or fungi or something like that. A little spell book in there. And also then your stairway going up there. And, let's see if I can get it. You have your trapdoor axe. So be careful when you open that door. And then you have another door here, and then some items tucked in the darkness back there. So that's it for the tower. And next I'll show you the two unique creatures that came with it. Okay, so also part of book 3 are these 2 really cool creatures, very iconic to D&D. You got your beholder, you got your full 10 eyes, plus the main one, and spin him around. He looks really nice. I'm very happy with him. He looks pretty good. He does open, his mouth will open up a little bit. If I can get it with one hand. There you go. Not a whole lot, but enough to get the point across. Don't want to mess with those guys unless you're high level. And then you've got a displayer beast. Now, I will say from a personal aspect of it, when I saw the picture of it, I thought it was kind of meh. But once you build it, it is very neat. He's really cool. The only thing I might add a little bit to is his body seems a little thin. But as I said, he is, I'm very happy with him. He's really cool. You can articulate him a little bit, but that keeps him kind of stable right there. But you can get his 2 front paws up and move him around a little bit. So those are the 2 guys. That's also the creatures that come along with book 3. Here we have the result of book 4. It is all Cinderhowl. It's a very nice looking dragon, as you can see as I rotate around. It's got a printed eyes, which is kind of nice, if you can barely see them in there. But he does have his issues. We'll start off with his legs. Each leg will rotate on these axes. The back ones only rotate on that axis. The front ones have a clip, that little clip in there, if you can see it. Maybe not. Hold on a second. But you can get a click or 2 of movement out of this. There we go. So you can see that piece in there now. So you can get a click or 2 of movement out of there, but it's really not much. And I will also say that after a couple uses, it starts to loosen up, and the legs do also. So if you try to move anything, chances are he's going to collapse a little bit. I would articulate this and show it to you, but I need 2 hands. So this rotates left and right. This rotates up and down. The head rotates up and down and also spins left and right. Maybe I can do that one a little bit. So there you go. So you can kind of see that, and up and down. But you can see now that the leg kind of collapsed just from me doing that. His mouth, this part right here, falls off a little too easily. And you can probably see under the weight of the head, it doesn't really hold up. So if you play with it too much, you're going to, it's just going to loosen up. The tail holds together pretty well though. That's nice and tight. And you're probably going to have to use the tail to wrap around the castle to keep him perched up there. He gets a little precarious. I also have a picture of the wings fully extended down, and one fully extended up. Also, the wings rotate on these pieces right here, a full 360 degrees, so like that. He looks really cool, just a little bit on the fragile side, so not a whole lot worth, of playing, but if you're doing a D&D game, you set him out on the table, he'll get the point across. And actually, you know what? I keep saying it's a she, so I'm pretty sure it's a she. Anyway, kind of hard to tell. Anyway, that's it. I hope you found this useful. I know there are probably other Lego reviews out there, probably better production quality than this. But anyway, thank you for watching.